Larani and Arnav, I hope my screen is visible to both of you right now.
Now you can.
Larani and Arnav, is my laptop screen visible to both of you?
Yes.
Okay. So on that day, in the last, you attempted this test. So we are going to discuss the question and answers of this first, and after that, we're going to begin with developing an app on code.org. So this is the first question, which was based on true or false, and update record can be used for reading the records from a table. So what is the answer of this one?
Answer false.
It is false. So what can we use for updating for reading the records from a table? We can make use of
Update.
read record block, right?
Oh yes. Yes.
Okay, so you have written false, Laranya, and Arnav had also written false for this. So this answer of yours is correct. Now the second part was set text dash can be used for setting the text for of a drop down. So you have written false for this, and Arnav has written true. What is the right answer? Is it false or true? And why is it false, Larani? Why
Sir,
has it
it
false
is.
for this?
Sir, because in set text we don't have a option or any code of line as options.
No.
Yes, sir.
So the third part is we need not to declare a variable on a JavaScript platform. So is it true or false?
Sir, it's false.
It is false because we need to declare a variable. If you're using a variable, we need to declare it. And how can we declare a variable, Laranya? What is the line of code we
Sir,
need to?
sir, var x is equal to 0.
Var x is equal to 0. So var x is equal to 0 means that you are declaring the variable x, and you are also initializing it with a value 0. So you are doing the
Yes.
declaration as well as initialization in the same line. Fine. Now let's come on this D part, which is for, there is a for loop which I have mentioned over here, and after that it is write k. Is it an error-free code or not?
Sir,
Is
it
it
is
an
not an error free
It is not an
code.
error-free code. Now, Arnav, why it is not an error-free code? What is the error in this code, dear? Can you tell us? Do you think that there is any error in this code?
No, sir.
There is no error in this code. Yes,
No.
Laranya, what is the error in this code, dear?
We have declared the variable I, and when we are writing right, then it should be I, not k, because k, the variable k is not defined in this code.
Absolutely right. We haven't defined the variable k. And we are writing the value of variable k using this line of code. The variable which
Yes.
we haven't defined yet, we are writing the value of that, and it is not possible. So the JavaScript platform or any platform, if you're doing this on any platform, it is definitely going to throw an error. So the answer for the correct answer of this one is false. It is not true. Okay, now let's come on this E part. We need to set the value for RGB for modifying the color of any component.
True.
True, sir.
It is true because every color is made up of these three things: red, green, and blue. So we need to know the value of these three things for
Yes.
any color. Now let's come on this MCQ part. Now the first part is gets the text from the specified screen element. So if you want to get the text from any component, what is the ID you guys can make use of for doing the same? It is, what is the answer of
Sir,
this one?
get text.
It is absolutely right. It is get text. We use get text in order to get the property. And if you want to set the text for anything, so you can make use of set text. And if you want to set the
Set
options,
text.
suppose this question would have been like this: what is the ID? What is the component? Sorry, what is the block you guys can make use of for setting the options for a drop down? So it would have been the correct answer. Then would be Larania. The correct answer then would be, if the
Uh,
question
Get
would have been like
text.
this, if the question would have been like this, the block with which we can set the options for the drop down.
so set property.
It is set property, because with set text you cannot set the options for the drop down. You can only set the text for any component. Okay, and if you want to set the property, that is if you want to fetch two or more items at the same time from a particular list variable which you have defined on the mobile simulator, then you need to make use of set property, and analog, and along with that you need to select options from the second drop down. Okay, now let's come on this B part, which is place the MP3 sound file from the specified URL. So of course the answer of this one is play sound. Okay, so you just need to mention an URL and you can play it through that URL. That MP3 song connected to that URL sets the screen to the given screen ID. What is the correct answer of this one? Set the
Set
Sir,
screen to
set
the given
set
screen.
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 Set
It
screen.
is set screen. So there is nothing like set screen ID, right? And set with
Yes.
set
Yes.
property, we cannot get the user redirected from one screen to another screen. And on event
Yes.
is just like if loop. So the correct answer of this
Yes.
one is set screen. Shows the element with the
Yes.
provided ID. Shows the element with the provided ID. What is the correct answer of this one out of these four? It is show element, na? It is show.
Yes, sir.
We use show element for showing something, and we use hide element for hiding any element, right? So the correct answer of this B part is show element. Creates a record with a unique ID in the table named provided, and calls the callback function when the action is finished. So what is the name of the block which helps us in creating a record with a unique ID in the table name provided?
Create record.
It is create record, absolutely right. It helps us in creating the table also, and it helps us in creating a record also in that particular table. For fetching more than two items at a time, if you want to fetch more than two items at a time, so the what is the type of variable you guys can make use of for doing the same? It is list type of variable, right?
List.
It is list type of variable which you guys can make use of, and we studied this
Yes, sir.
concept when we were doing that cascading drop down menus, right?
Yes,
G
sir.
part is for a two-way communication system. Now you remember we in one of the lectures we developed this a two-way communication system, okay, in
Yes,
which
sir.
a user was able to send the messages to another user. So
Yes, sir.
what was the name of the table we defined in the
Uh,
coding part?
sir. So sender's ID plus receiver's ID.
Absolutely right. It was sender's ID plus receiver's ID. Arnav, a lot of noise
Because
is
we
coming.
need both. Because we need both things to define anything.
Absolutely right. So that receiver can also, receive the content on the basis of the name provided to the table. Maximum number of tables that can be created on the data browser. So
So
Laranya, I
10.
think you had told us in one of the
10.
lectures that the maximum
Yes, sir.
number of tables that can be
Yes.
created on code.org is 10. How to put validation on a component? So if you want to put validation on a component, the best way is to make use of if loop, right? This is what we
Yes,
studied
sir.
in, I think, third lecture. Block used for getting the URL of an image. If you want to fetch the URL of an image, then what is the name of the block you guys can make use of?
Sir, get image URL.
Get image URL. In order to set the image URL, you guys can make use of this. If you want to fetch the image URL, then you can make use of get image URL property. Dash block is used for coding forgot password screen.
Or update record.
Update record block, of course. So if you want to update your forgot password screen, means the user has forgotten the password with which he created his profile, and now if you want to update the password in the table in which his login credentials are saved, so he can make use of update record block. Absolutely right. If x is a counter variable we have used in a particular app,
Or x is equal to x is equal to x plus 1.
x plus 1. For next button it is x equal to x plus 1, and if it would have been previous button, then the correct answer for that will
Then x
be
is equal to x
x
minus 1.
minus 1. Absolutely right. Dash is a code can be used for generating a button dynamically.
The button ID text.
Absolutely right. So this is text input is used for generating an input box
Text
dynamically.
input.
This is used for generating a label box dynamically. Okay, and the
Yes.
correct answer this one is button, ID and text, and then it is in part of question number two. Dash is a component that can be used for uploading a pic on an app.
So photo select.
Auto select button. Absolutely right. We can learn Dash language on code.org. So as we all
JavaScript.
know that it is a
JavaScript.
JavaScript based platform. So the correct answer to this one is JavaScript. And here is your result. So Arnav,
So can you share with us this? You can also upload this in the chat box.
yeah, I can do that. Just a second here. I will share your result with Shigorika ma'am, and she's going to share it with you on your respective WhatsApp. Fine.
Okay, sir.
So